And we're back with episode 4, ahead of schedule this time.
We are ready to roll. Every Sunday, that's the plan, and we're sticking to it. Even though last week's was
4 minutes to go before midnight.
Hey, it was still on Sunday. Right, this evening we have got for you a moose boosh, random shit in the office, starter,
latte,
main course, we're struggling to cook because all the kit's knackered, and for dessert, some lobsters met an untimely end. So, yeah, a moose boosh. Amusing just because why every kitchen has it in the office. Oh, yeah. Certain ingredients.
Yeah.
Oh, that's in the office. Why is it in the office? It's expensive.
Yes, that's right. Saffron is always the one, isn't it?
Where's the saffron? Oh, next to the stapler in the drawer. Oh, okay.
Why is it in the chef's office?
Vanilla pods, yeah, they're next to the Tipex. Oh, okay. Yes. Not that anybody uses Tipex essentially, but...
Do they, I mean, you're only going to... When you ask to use these things, yeah, it's in the office, go and get it. Okay, great. Then I go and get it. Then I use it. Then I put it back in the office. No one monitors how much I'm actually using.
No.
So what does it matter? I'm only going to use what I need.
It's I don't know.
It's just one of those untold things that you don't question it.
No.
You know, you don't talk about Fight Club. You just do it.
It's a high value item. Let's go to the chef's office. I suppose you can tell the quality of where you're working depending on what they're storing in the chef's office. Yeah. Some places they're stacking up the gold leaf for the chef's office. Other places it's lock away the cooking sherry.
Yeah, because half the kitchen chefs have problems with alcohol, so it's all kept in there, the cabinet.
Well, the equipment as well. People do it with equipment, don't they? Like, they've got a mandolin, but then they keep it in a locker or in the office, or
what's that thing? The not the water bath, but it is the portable one.
Oh, the sous vide stirrer.
Yeah, sous vide stirrer. That I usually find that on the shelf in there as well. Why? Do they get nicked often or something?
They get broken, don't they?
Oh, okay.
You have that. You put something in a special place, and you think, well, the Thermomix is going to live in the chef's office because it will get battered. But as you said the other week, I've never seen a Thermomix isn't battered in the kitchen.
Every kitchen I go to, the Thermomix is usually the one that's just been absolutely trashed. I'm like, okay, which bit is missing? Which bit's cracked? Oh, it's a screen and the top handle is ripped off where I am at the moment.
Yeah, which is interesting enough. That's what we're coming on to for the main course. Yeah. But it's a strange one. Be interesting to know from anybody else what random things they've found in the chef's office that has to be stored in the chef's office.
Yeah, make sure you email us. You have to help me with this one.
Letters for CheckON at hotmail.com.
Letters for CheckON at hotmail.com. And let us know about the quality of your Thermomix.
We like pictures too.
Yeah, pictures, yeah.
Yes, that was the moose boost just because we're starters, on the other hand, that's more of a Scott specialist subject.
CheckON! I love a latte. So I'll offer the restaurant staff a bowl of chips, a burger, if things are really getting desperate, for a delicious, creamy, aromatic latte. There's actually one job I took in a hotel not so long ago, and not in a galaxy far, far away. And I walked in and I was looking around. I thought, the place is a bit tired. I'm not sure if I want this. So, if they don't invest, you can tell straight away if the place is looking tired and the kitchen's especially looking tired. I thought, they're not going to put much money into this. You're not going to get much support if you need kit. And then I turned around to the corner and there it was. They actually had the latte machine in the kitchen next to the dishwasher. Anyway, so I was like, I'll take it. I'll take the job. 15 lattes a day. Food costs took a hit on that one. Yeah.
It's an interesting, the way they work, because generally it comes out of the chef's GP anyway. But then the bar staff always bitch about, usually haven't got time, which they have, let's face it, they've got nothing else better to do. But
operating a soda stream, I don't think they've got time.
I haven't got time. And the problem is you ask one person, and then the whole brigade wants a coffee then, don't they? But I asked the other day, I was working, and I asked for a cup of tea. The response I got was, well, piss off, you can make your own tea. Don't bother making that.
She looked like you peed on a grandparent's grave.
She's like,
give me a cup of tea.
I'll make you a latte, but I'm not going to bother making you a cup of tea. Do it yourself. But yeah, I was arguing with somebody only last night actually about the syrups, because that's even more of an issue. You ask them for a
caramel
shot of syrup in it, then you have a problem. But
this is all coming out of the kitchen GP.
Well, exactly. But my issue, that was a slight aside, but my issue is that nowadays with syrups, they're now taking the sugar out of syrups and putting sweetener in. I
hate sweetener. Yeah,
so horrible. And
it's got that weird taste to it.
yeah, well, it's like the same with the cordial, isn't it? But then that's a funny one. I mean, the other day you had the situation of, here's a round of lattes. Can someone get a lime and soda? No, we're not allowed to give out lime cordial.
The cordial we get is really expensive. What?
It's not.
It's really not.
It's basically used as a drain cleaner most of the time. But
yeah, do you make your own cordial? Do you?
Yeah, but I suppose you've got to keep them sweet, haven't you? The old restaurant. I mean, we could touch on it now, but it's probably a bigger issue. But Star Food is, if you keep them happy in Star Food, then they'll keep you happy in the drinks. But
I thought that, because I've used that. I've had many arguments with that. It's like, oh, no, I'm not going to make you latte. I haven't got time. Oh, sorry. I haven't got time to take my time in making the Star Food.
You did that last week. Do you remember? Was that? I can't remember. One day last week you were making Star Food and somebody had binned all your Star Food stuff, so it was quick.
Oh, yeah.
I went in the Gary.
I was actually ahead, and then I went in the walk-in fridge and then binned the Star Food. You bastards. 11 minutes to go before 5 o'clock, and I'm going to have Star Food ready. I was like, oh, what's quick? Oh, yeah, sweet and sour chicken. Tons of vinegar, tons of sugar, pineapple.
Boil it and go.
And then chicken strips in the deep fat fryer. I was absolutely in the Gary with that one.
Lucky individuals, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mind you, at least you had a deep fat fryer that worked.
Yeah, that's true. Which leads us on to our next course.
Yeah, so the main course.
But I've got a bit of a rant.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I'm quite vocal about it on many occasions wherever I go. And it's the one thing that absolutely winds me up is when you go into a kitchen and there's, oh, you can't use that. Yeah, it doesn't work. Oh, yeah, that oven over there. Yeah, it's not. It doesn't steam at the moment. So, and there'll be repairs with maintenance that never get done. Why? Why isn't it fixed? If we had this before, then we obviously needed it. It's no longer working. So we're going to struggle. Fix the damn thing. It's just like, or throw it out.
Yeah.
There's tons of broken equipment in the kitchen. There's always something wrong with it. Why does no one think, just fix it? Yeah, don't worry, just fix it or throw it out or replace it.
The problem that it has, the knock-on effect of broken equipment in kitchens, it's huge. And the financial burden, and I get it costs a lot of money to fix things or replace it or whatever, but the amount of time and effort and wastage that comes from the fact you haven't got the right piece of kit is just mind-boggling. And you think, I always think that there must be the person who's in charge at the top of these any kitchen that's got all this stuff. You think the person in charge, if they knew what went on because you haven't spent whatever it is, they'd be like, well, why haven't you just fixed it? Why haven't we just bought why haven't you done this? Yeah. But they never get to know about it. It's like it never reaches that far. They just say, I understand you've written a budget and there's a plan. You say, well, the budget is this and you can't blow the budget. So no, you can't have a new whatever it is. Yeah. And then, I was trying to think earlier about this. When was the last time I walked into a professional kitchen that had a fully working RoboCoupe? And that's a very straightforward, basic piece of kit.
That is basic, yeah.
I reckon the last time I started a job in a place that had one that worked was over 10 years ago. I've place of it is that one doesn't work, or the RoboCoupe doesn't work, or it's missing an attachment.
Yeah, the attachment on the veg bit that you put on top.
I did a Christmas quite a few years ago now, but place where they didn't have the slicer attachment for the RoboCoupe. I was like, okay, fine, we're doing Christmas parties coming out of ears. Need a load of braised red cabbage, and they said, well, we can't. It's not in our remit to buy a new slicing thing. So well, it ain't a lot of money. It's a couple £100. No, can't do it. And so, okay, fine. Well, we actually then just paid KP to stand there. And he was doing all the Christmas prep anyway. Yeah. But he spent hours a week slicing red cabbage. So he's going through a ton of red cabbage. And then when he's finished grating all the slicing red cabbage, he's now got a basic box grater that's a Nisbets Essential that's going to last about a month. And he's trying to grate like 10 kilos of cheddar. So, well, you're spending hundreds of pounds on wages for this guy, week in, week out, to grate some cheese, slice some onions, some cabbage, whatever else he's doing. Just buy the piece of equipment. They can't. And exactly, I say that same place, they had 3 rationales, I think, when I started there. It's like, well, one of them works One of them is completely kaput, but we can't even get it out of the kitchen because it's an awkward kitchen to get out of, and the other one is on the repair list. Well, can we just get it sorted? And eventually we did. We replaced them all and get it up to scratch and get things working. But that thing you say, you walk in and it's like, well, that doesn't do that. That doesn't do that function. That can't work that.
One thing you did touch on was the morale. I've noticed that it does. Even if they're not you get the occasional bitching about it, but subconsciously, when you just see people walking by and they're just fed up because things are just broken around them, the knock-on effect of the morale is a big one.
Yeah, huge. Sometimes there's a difference where sometimes you've had something's broken and it's genuinely it's going to take 2 weeks to get the part or fix it, whatever. But at least you know that you are someone that are there actually the parts on order. It's going to take a week or two or a month, whatever it is. It's on order to be fixed. That's one thing, and that's a frustration. I was thinking, do you remember? I think you were there, working in a restaurant where we the rationale broke. Rationale again, slagging, aren't they? It's always on that breaking. They are the engine room piece of kit, though. I mean, they do take a hell of a beating. But we had one, and it broke. They came out and looked at it, and the board had gone. And the guy said, right, what I can do is I can set it to work, and it was on 200 degrees when it went bang. And he said, I can set it to work at 200 degrees, but you can't turn it off because you never turn it on again. He said, we'll order you a new part, but you have to leave it on at 200 degrees constantly. So it's like, okay.
For good.
We had about a week and a half where it was like, at night time, we just leave the door open on it so it wouldn't be running. But
I see what you mean, yeah.
It would be on. And it was like, it was around Christmas time. We'd had all the pre-orders and there was a brandy snap on something. And I can't remember what. It might have been ice cream. Anyway, there was brandy snaps involved. And because we bought in some sample ones, we got a few different ones in, and Forest Produce did the best of a bad bunch. It was like, they weren't very good. So well, let's try making them. And the classic chef workaround, you had a bloody scribbled out piece of paper that says, right,
stuck on
microwave it at 40% for 2 minutes, then do this, then put it in at 200 degrees for about a minute and a half, then take it back out, let it rest, do this, do that, because otherwise it's just going to burn. Every recipe had to be adapted that it can only work at 200 degrees. If you're baking bread, whatever you're doing, it's going in at 200, and that's your only option. Or you could do it a bit cooler if you had the oven open beforehand, but
yeah,
absolutely not. But that at least that's a workaround rather than just knackered stuff. But yes, it's unbelievable how many places, and yeah, I've worked a lot of places, and I know a lot of people have worked a lot of places, and it's not just like it's one or two kitchens. You expect to walk into a kitchen and, well, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It's madness. Like the morale was a huge part of it, because that thing of when you come in and actually see the team and they're like, yeah, that doesn't work, that's that. It does sap out of you.
They do look deflated a lot, especially with more equipment that's broken. But
you go in a good kitchen and everything works and it's designed well. I mean, that's another bugbear of mine, is when a kitchen's been really badly designed and you think, well, but there's no flow here, there's no anything, nothing's...
No, I've worked in a place where it's corridors. It's almost corridors, and you're just walking down them to get to the next section of the kitchen, and it's just an absolute nightmare.
Well, the big hotel that we worked in, however many years ago, 10, 12 years ago now, that had a very old big kitchen in it, but quite badly laid out. I don't know if you ever saw it before the redesign, but...
No, I don't know.
They sort of got someone in to plan it and said, well, if you actually halved the size of it and then put an island in the middle and did this, and the other, it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And, the pastry kitchen that was at the back and the main kitchen was at the front, well, before that change around, that whole area was just the main kitchen, and it was really badly laid out, dysfunctional, trip over yourself. And you think, a well-designed kitchen with well-serviced equipment just makes it easier. Yeah. So much easier.
Although we could talk about, we did mention Thermomixes.
Yeah.
We could talk about Dave from Daveville and his modification to the Thermomix to get it to work.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Come on, start from the beginning. That was a great story.
Well, the Thermomix has been out of action for a long time. I don't know how long a long time is, but it was out of action.
They didn't want to fix it
long enough. It was, question after question. Oh, you've got to speak to this person. You've got to get a purchase order. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. I was like, can we just get it fixed? Because it's a really essential piece of equipment. And then the guy was in to do. We touched on this last week when we were talking about allergens, and then, why you're here, mate? So I said, why you're here? Can you have a look at this?
Yeah.
So he has a look. Yeah, fine. Dave sort of got the engineer to look at it and he goes, can you make this work? He said, well, it's a very simple safety cutout is the only problem on it. Okay. So if the lid's not on, it won't operate. Well, can you fix that? Well, yeah, just take out the safety switch. Okay, fine. Took the safety switch out, lovely. Job done. Well, it now operates, but it'll operate without the lid on. But, that could cause a problem. But I'm not sanctioning it. I'm just saying I've done what you asked for. Cool. And then it was a case of it lived in the chef's office, funnily enough, and only people that had been told that expressly they were allowed to use it could use it. But obviously that soon became a free-for-all and everyone just started using it again.
Just going into the chef's office to grab it.
Generally the Thermomix again. One of the chefs had I don't actually know what happened. I sort of heard it third hand, but he was blitzing a soup or something in the Thermomix. And then...
It's a burning hot new soup.
Yeah, it was red hot, 100 degrees. And I don't know if he had the lid off or if the lid blew off. But either way, the lid came off.
I think the lid blew off, didn't it? Because it was the old Thermomix, the Mark 1.
Yeah, the old... Yeah. The bloody efficient ones. And it blew the lid off and covered him in red hot soup and burnt his face quite badly.
He was covered in it, wasn't he? And his whole face went red. Yeah. I'm talking from second-hand information.
Yeah, from what we've heard. Yeah. But
I'm not getting sued.
But yeah, that is, you think that person, that team has been put in a situation purely because of the amount of hoops they'd have to jump through. Like, obviously what everybody wanted was just, can we fix the Thermomix? Just get it done, move on with our lives, happy days. But then, no, you've got this problem and you got that, and then someone's off work, and then you've got an investigation, and you've got this stuff going on. You think, well, all we really wanted was just to fix a piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
You've gone to buying it. You've bought it. You spent all that money to buy it. Why would you not want it to work?
Well, we had one at the previous place that we'd worked at before that, and there was a chef that we worked with there, and if he didn't have the little plastic cap that went on the top of it, he had a habit of wedging a bong of tea towel on top of it.
Oh, that was right, yeah. Oh, anybody who doesn't know what a Thermomix is, so it's a blender that can heat, but also there's a hole in the top of the, sort of an inspection hole in the top of the jug, and then you can look down into it because it's made of stainless steel, the jug is. So he wedged a tea towel in the top, didn't he, so he didn't get spat at.
Yeah.
I remember that because I heard all the swearing.
Off. And it had sucked the cloth in, it had chewed the cloth up, and then it went up.
Yeah, it blew it up. And this is why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. I mean, chefs are notoriously... But
the head chef, I mean, he went absolutely ballistic. I had to hide in the sauce section. There was a cupboard underneath the bain marie, was it? I can't remember what it was. I actually I went on my knees and put my head in there because I just did not want to, when he looks around and you're in a rabbit in the headlights after he's finished crushing this guy who's broken the blender. And I didn't want to be next to the firing line. Oh.
But the Thermomix, I was saying to you, when the old design, I know that they weren't as technical. They didn't have the touchscreens. So much better though. I mean,
the Mark 1, yeah.
That's what I use.
It was on and off.
I was going to TM4 like this, but you can turn it off, take the lid straight off, move it, carry on. And when you turn it on, you don't have the safety briefing of...
Well, I phoned, because I got fed up with it.
Yeah.
I phoned, who was it?
Volvok.
And she's obviously dealt with, a dickhead like me before, because I said, can you turn off all of that health and safety crap when I load this thing up? Because it starts booting up when you plug it in. When you're in a hurry, you just sort of, would you hurry up? And then you've got to go through the menu pages to get to the end bit where you can click everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's just like, can I override that? Can you just get rid of it? Because, people who get hurt by it deserve it as far as I'm concerned, if it's that stupid. No, can't do that, I'm afraid. And I said, well, can you give me the layman's terms as to why? She goes, we don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
If you hurt yourself, it's our fault.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there was that. And then the other thing I asked for was occasionally when you drip something on the screen and then it loads up that recipe folder and then you're trying to get out of that. Oh, God's sake, can we delete
can we disable all of it?
I don't need a recipe from a blender. Would you just get rid of all of that and go back to basic mode?
Get the old one. So
yeah, the old Mark 1.
They work well. But it was, the pilot-like conversation we had the other day, like the new stoves, that they had, to my understanding, it was something to do with an EU directive to reduce emissions or whatever, make stoves more environmentally friendly. So, all these old stoves, they all had a pilot light on them. It was fine. Like,
Which is just amazing.
Yeah. And like, this isn't about gas or electric, like inductions, whatever. Purely for gas, you used to have a pilot light and the pilot light stayed lit and happy days. And then when you turned the gas, you turned it on, happy days. But then they've done away with the pilot lights on all these new stoves that don't have pilot lights on them. And then they can sell it and say, well, it uses less gas in a day because obviously you haven't got the pilot light lit. So that, straightforwardly, if there's nothing lit, then you're using less gas than the pilot light. Brilliant. But when you're in service, all that happens in every single place I've ever seen with these new kits that don't have pilot lights is they go into service and they light all 6 rings on the 6-burner and they're all on for the whole of service. One of them might never even be used for the whole of service. Or 2 of them might not even be used.
You're blowing the hell out of it with a blowtorch.
It's just there, just burning away because there's no part. Because if you don't have them lit and then you need to, you're busy doing stuff, going and finding a source of ignition or a blowtorch, a lighter, a tape, whatever you want to do to light
the blue paper towels,
anything to try and get the thing lit. And you're like, well, where's the pilot light? But that's the how you do something that it shows up on the Volkswagen vehicle bloody emissions scandal, isn't it? It's like,
yeah.
If you run the test and you can go, it uses less gas because when it's not turned on, yes, it will use less gas. But in a real world situation, real world life, people have got them all lit because, and rather than having a pilot, they've just got it turned down low or on full, depending on the
Who comes up with these ideas?
People, they've saved costs because they've taken the pilot light off, so they've got less moving parts.
Right.
And then they say, well, we've made a new eco, uses 10% less gas in a day, more energy efficient. We'll charge you an extra 500 quid even though we've taken some parts of it. I should imagine. I'm guessing, but.
Yeah, you know how they work. They're going to do that.
I know exactly how they work, yeah.
It's a bit like going back to our iCombi Pro bit. You put the Pro in there and you can bang a couple of grand on it.
Oh, we were looking for a new one the other day and you're talking, well, even the basic iCombis, you're over 10 grand now. So.
Yeah, they're insane, aren't they?
You might as well get a second-hand one or a reconditioned one from a decent place that it's going to have a hard life. It's going to get abused because it's going to be in a kitchen full of chefs. And when they're working long tiring hours and they're getting... we need this, we need that. Or when you've got 3 rationales, but only one of them works, and then you say, well, okay, it's got to go from steaming to this. It's at 300 now, it's down to this, now it's there. They just have a hard life, don't they?
Yeah, they're forever on, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think that's an understanding part where people, I suppose that in the more recent years where you've got exec chefs and kitchen managers and stuff, that they actually hopefully have an understanding of talking to people and saying, what can you do with this? What can you do with that? The place where we worked down the road a few years back when I started there, couldn't believe the pass. The pass was just, it was tiny for what they were wanting to achieve. And I moaned about it every single day. The broken rationales was a pain, but the pass was the worst thing imaginable. And they got to a point of saying, all right, you don't like the pass, that's fine, let's discuss it. And they said, I think they had about 80 booked for Christmas Day that year. And they said, if you had a better pass, how many could you do for Christmas Day? And I said, look, I'll design a pass. If you can buy me the pass I design, do as many as you want. And I think we ended up doing about 150, whereas they'd originally capped it at 80 because they couldn't do any more than 80 covers. And I said, well, do as many as you want if you get us the right equipment.
Yeah, that's right.
Buy me this, and this, and I guarantee you we'll do 150 covers without a blink of an eye, and it'll all be good and everyone will be happy.
Yeah, because that pass was quite big. I remember that one. That was huge.
Yeah, it was huge in the end because we had, it was a triple tier and there was a big long one and the shorter one, so we could really get stuff out at speed. Yeah. But they don't usually ask these questions. They don't speak. They don't realise that the huge constraint, the bottlenecks, the problems that are built up of not having the right equipment.
Give us the tools and we'll get the job done.
Yeah.
It reminds me of one place where, it's been replaced now, but when I started there, the pass was, I can't work out if it was gerrymangered. What's the word?
Gerrymangered?
No, don't crush me.
Made that up.
No, what's the word?
When you think, I wish there was a camera in here, just watching his face trying to...
It's gerrymangered. No?
Gerrymangered.
No, gerrymangered. No.
Joe-mungered?
You know exactly
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's cobbled together.
Right.
Gerrymangered. What is the word? It was rigged together. I don't know. Or it's just ancient from the 1960s or 70s. This thing was just a table with a little bit of a shelf, and it had this these lights were in this grid that were hanging down on little metal. I don't even know what is it. I don't even know what it is, but it's crap. It only covered about a quarter of the pass, so only 2 of your plates were actually getting semi-tepid, but the other ones weren't. What is the point of this pass? And I bitched and moaned about it for about a year and a half until I finally got a pass. And then the one they ordered, they didn't have in stock, so they decided to automatically order one slightly bigger. So it's nearly touching the walls. You have to squeeze right past to get past it. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
I never asked, do they never think to how's this actually going to operationally work?
Yeah. Talk to the people who are working in there and they'll tell you the truth.
They'll soon tell you.
They're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you exactly what's wrong. And ask everyone, not the head chef who maybe just wanted to be, make savings or what. Ask everyone, what is the problem with this kitchen and how will you benefit from us either fixing this or getting you something better? What can you do for us in return? And if they can make you more money or productivity, then it is a word, gerrymangered.
You've made it up, but all right.
I haven't made... You
carry on running with it. I was just thinking we should probably move on in a minute because we've been on this for a while, but on that subject, Apple, I saw a documentary years ago with them and they were talking about, like, I've never understood how Apple devices work. I work with an Android phone, it's fine. But they had somebody in charge of a think tank group and they said, right, who get your laziest people from all your teams? And they got they said, like, these people will bodge everything. They'll find a way around anything that they had to actually do. And the guy was like, brilliant, get all them together. I want to get them in a room. And then they gave them some Apple devices and went, what would you, so this is the general, how you get from here to here and you do this and you do that. And then they said it was really interesting that the levels of these guys' brains went to of how you could just skip all of that and just get straight to this was how they came to like the one button device, because they were like, well, actually, if you're a high functioning person you've learned something in a certain way, then you generally follow a pattern of you do this, then you do that, and everything has a routine or whatever. But they were getting in all these people that were like high functioning but lazy at the same time, as in, if I can just skip the whole of that process and just go straight to that, then...
Because speed and efficiency is what gets them hooked onto it more than, I suppose, is it? Or
yeah, but it was the fact that they were saying, right, get us all your people that are just the people that bodge everything from your departments, get them all together, and they had a sort of cumulative group of bodgers. And they were like, they said it's brilliant, saved them loads of stuff. They said they cut out whole sections, whole sequences. I mean, if you were to look at, if you got a Mac versus a PC and a PC, and I'm well out of my depth here, I've got no idea what I'm talking about, but we'll roll with that. There's nothing new there. But, like a PC, and it's like, you haven't got the correct drivers. Well, I don't know what drivers I need. Just get me the correct drivers. Well, you haven't got this. Have you downloaded this? Have you changed it to the right thing? Is it in the right format? All these questions. Have you configured your sound card correctly? None of us know. We're not computer technology. I just want you to do a thing. I don't care how you do it. I couldn't give any monkeys how it works. Just bloody do it. It's like a microwave. You just put something in, you press start, 30 seconds. There's that button, isn't there? The auto start. You push one button.
You always push the auto start, yeah.
And it's like you press it once and something happens. If you only want to heat something quickly or soften some butter or reheat a cup of tea, you just walk over to a machine, put it in, press one button, and it just gets hot.
It annoys me about household microwaves when you get those ones that it's got about 30 different buttons on it, and you're forever trying to pick through. How do I get to? I've got to click
the power level, select how heavy it is.
Oh, but I did it the wrong way round.
It's like, just give me start.
Yeah.
Like the old crappy ones that are sort of they've got a timer on them, and that's it. Maybe there's a dial for temperature or a power level, but you whack it on. You put, like a toaster. You pull the thing down, it's on. When it's done, it comes out. That's it. You don't need any other technological...
They're never going to put a million buttons on a toaster, are they?
No, but everything that can be simplified, great. Get on it.
Yeah, simplify it.
I can't remember how we got to that now, but there you are.
You're banging on about equipment and
just fix the stuff.
Just fix it.
Honestly, fix it. You're paying all that cash. The amount of people that grate cheese in the land with a little hand grater because they haven't got the correct bit on their robo coupe. It's painful, really.
So dessert.
Okay, so we got an email in from Dave again. This is when Dave was doing stock taking. So I had been working at this hotel for a couple of years when I got promoted to junior sous. Big responsibility for a 19-year-old who's just lost his driving licence. Part of my role was the monthly stock take, and this was to be done overnight so that no stock movement took place. Obviously, I took this very seriously and was quite a quiet and shy member of the team, trying my best to do a good job for the chefs above me, whom I looked up to with great fondness. We had daddy issues. One fateful night, I was counting the stock in the fish fridge, when the night porter came in and offered me a pint. Sure, I said, what's the worst that can happen? So I left the drawer full of lobsters on the side of the kitchen, which was pretty warm because we used to leave the pilot lights on all night for absolutely no reason. Seems rather odd now I think about it now. And the extraction was always off at night because this was before the interlock systems were a thing. Funny, we were just talking about pilot lights.
I take it these lobsters are still alive.
I'm presuming so. I digress. My pint with the quintessential ex-con heart on his sleeve, loved to have a scrap but had a heart of gold really, turned into about 8 or 10 pints and some pretty deep and dark conversations. Anyway, he had to get his last jobs done before the morning staff came in. Sober as a judge, he stands up and off he goes. I stumbled back to the kitchen to find the lobsters had backflipped out of their drawer and were now all dead on the floor after their apartment block balcony stunts.
Oh.
Let's make no mistake, I was drunk, really behind on the stock take, and now in the shit as I had about 10 dead lobsters on my hands. So quick as I could, I cooked all the lobsters, made up the figures for everything else, and hot-tailed it to staff accommodation before the breakfast chef got in. Next day, the head chef gave me quite the bollocking for the lobsters, but I explained that I thought they were all about to die, so being a quick-thinking, smart individual, I cooked them all to save the wastage. He then congratulated me, but explained that lobsters generally sleep at night, and so they were probably just sleeping, as they were all fresh in that day off the boat. If in doubt, blag, blag, blag. Love your podcast, got sent the link by an old mate called Dave. Cheers, Dave from Scunthorpe.
Oh no. Hopefully death was quick.
Wasn't going to be, was it?
Oh, they backflipped that. So it was one of those drawer.
The old drawer fish fridge, I presume.
Yeah.
They're good, they are.
You don't see them anymore, do you?
They don't have air movement, do they? So they generally quite relaxed in there, but...
Oh, wow. They must have fallen. Yeah.
So they flipped out of a drawer, cracked their heads on the floor.
Yeah, I've seen a few horrific things done with lobsters before, but that is, I've never seen them fly out. I've never seen them flying out of a drawer and hit the floor.
I suppose with the AJ coming, were these all live when they were cooked? I don't know how long ago they died. Night shifts. We've all been there, haven't we? I've seen things, and I've been into hotels at night times when there's been night porters on. I think when I was quite young, and we were going back a fair while ago now, but the hotel that I first trained at, the night porters there, they used to get away with murder. But there was quite often we'd have beach parties on the regular, and then it was a friend of mine's birthday, and I don't know exact details, but we all ended up in the hotel for the evening. And we were all in the swimming pool, then we were in the hot tub, then bottles of champagne are getting opened. People all sat around the swimming pool smoking cigars. You think, this is this is a high-end hotel. You've got all these guests upstairs asleep, and you've got half the living staff block are all in the hotel, in the jacuzzi, drinking a bottle of champagne, smoking cigars. And it's...
Can you imagine a guest goes out for a walk in the middle of the night, can't sleep, and then sees that debauchery?
There was one hotel I worked at, I won't mention the name of it, but
please, because I've managed to get. I think we've got most of the way through this podcast, and I've not had to bleep anything yet.
Yeah, we won't mention it. But I don't know how they came about it, but I think it was the fact that somebody found out in management that the two night porters they had on had struck up a relationship, because obviously there were two of them through the night time and things were one. But they found some fairly X-rated footage of the pair of them at the side of the swimming pool at night time.
They didn't realise they'd been recorded.
No, but it's from the description of the quintessential night porter, because it's a job where you're outside of general social norms. You work in night hours and all the rest of it. Some of the night guys I've worked with over the years have come from different backgrounds, whatever, and they don't want to be in general circulation dealing with general people and their general stuff. They just want to be left to their own device at night times. But if I've worked late or done bits and pieces, I've had some cracking conversations with some surely great people working nights.
All 10% of them?
All 10% of the other 90%. I mean, there's a lot of night staff I've worked with who I think, it surprises me. I think if you did a cross-section across every building, if you just took all the hotels in Cornwall and lined up all the night guys and then went, right, this lot are in charge of your hotels at night time. Like you 10%ers there. They're 100%ers, but the 10% people, you'd be like, I'll be more than happy leaving them in charge of that. They'll be brilliant with guests, courteous. They'll help out if there's a situation. They'll be quick thinking enough if the breakfast chef phones in sick, if there's a fire evacuation, if there's a rowdy guest. You need a strong person to lead that. Cracking. The other 90% that I've met, I think I wouldn't trust them with anything. Really.
No, not at all.
But I do understand it's hard because it's a hard job to recruit for because not a lot of people want to work night times. But it's there's definitely both ends of the spectrum. There's no middle ground of a night time. I've never met somebody that works nights who I go, oh, they're pretty decent. They get the job done. They're either like, why is that person employed, or it's that person should do well. I say should do more. If you're happy working night times and that fits your lifestyle and stuff, then crack on. But there's some odd ones, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Interesting doing a stock take at night time though. I've not heard of that before. Yeah, well, I think that about covers it all.
Get your letters in.
Letters for checkon@hotmail.com.
And the number.
I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but we've got the phone sorted now. We'll get the
we'll get the number put up on the Facebook group and all of that.
Yeah.
And start. I don't put anything in the descriptions for YouTube, so I need to start adding stuff.
Well, we've got our online content manager now, so once she actually gets her teeth into it and gets sorted.
Once she actually does something, then
she does something other than like the podcast.
All right. Yeah. Cool.
Get it on. Deal. Right. Over and out.